This is today's live on Equa Television International, and we're so glad that you could join us on today's edition of the program. It's Tuesday, we're talking about life, and today we're talking about a topic that is really important and not easy at the same time. I mean, the power to detach. A lot of people are clinging to relationship, to situations, and even outcomes that are detrimental to their well-being, their peace, and even their growth. But the decision to detach from such situation is something that they struggle with. And on today's edition of today's live, we're talking about the power to detach. My name is Joyce Jakada. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Equa Television International. Do well to join this conversation and share your own story with us. Are you struggling with detachment, or have you detached? How did you go about it? I have able hands to discuss this topic. Engineer Tony J. Nakali is here. Good morning. Prudence and Sambo Solomon. Good morning.
Good morning, Joyce.
You look fine. That's how I'm still looking at you. What happened?
I'm a fine girl now. Am I not fine?
You look fine at today. I just can't take my eyes off the screen.
Please look at me.
Wow. What happened? He said yes.
The joy of the Lord is my strength.
He said yes.
I don't understand. He said, who is the he?
The person you have been begging to say
Go
yes.
forbid.
On 1 knee, 2 knees, 3 knees.
Go forbid. Beku. A valuable lady like me.
Joyce may have a not somebody else. I am looking. I'm happy. Very unlike you.
My name is Joyce.
But you're always frowning.
Frowning? I don't frown. My name
Especially
is
when Hassan passes by.
that one.
I didn't see that coming.
What did you say the topic was again?
Power to detach.
Detach from what?
What does detachment means to you? And I think I want to start with you. What does detachment mean to you? And at what point do you think you need to detach?
You should know. I'm detached from you.
Ah.
See you far apart as every day.
So tell us what it means to you.
If I'm the one you're asking, because you said let's start with you didn't mention him, but if I'm the
Let's
one you're
start
asking,
with Engineer Tony.
you didn't put His Royal Highness.
Hey,
So if I'm
His
the-
Royal Highness Engineer Tony J. Nakali.
But you know that's a wrong title for me. You can't say that to me, honestly.
Oh, okay.
You can't say that to me.
Chief,
Mm.
okay.
You can't say that
Chief
to me
engineer.
before people take it personal.
Before they ask me to bring goats as well.
Joyce, we are always detaching, whether we know or we don't know. We are always detaching. We are detaching from people. We are detaching from things. We are detaching from emotions. We are detaching from psychology. We are detaching from a lot of things. Even if there is a building that is an eyesore to you, you want to detach yourself from taking a look at that building, as often as you can. If there is a road that is bad and government fix an alternative route, you detach yourself from following that road because you know the havoc that it does to you. Some of these idiosyncrasies of life, they are so simple that people don't need anybody to start advising them. But you find people waiting to be told what to do. How can you be in a relationship that is extremely abusive, but you are still in it? Some people will tell you, no, this person, nobody can perform sexually more than him, but you have bruises more than you have happiness. You have sad moments more than you have. So is sex a reason why you should base your relationship upon? It's not even your relationship, your life. Because if somebody hits you repeatedly or continually, there will be a day that you'll be hit and you can't come up. And that will be the end of you. Who would love a dead body? You see, people should put themselves first. And this topic is timely because people are attached. Somebody is killing you, but because he's giving you money, you can't run away.
True.
Do you understand? Sometimes when you even find it amusing, right? It's amusing sometimes to you that Prudence is dating solo. A working class lady, very educated, and he's very responsible. And when you talk, you start hearing what you have told her from other people. And she starts letting other people know, why is everybody in my business?
No wonder someone said the most difficult person to advise is the one in love.
You see, yes, because people even fall in love for different reasons. Most of it is what they can gain. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's sexual. For some people, materially. For some people, it's just for the fun of it. For some people, it's just the name you have. They want to share it. Like somebody said that one of the best things I'm going to give you is my last name. So yes, that's so she will start bearing, Prudence Sambo Sabe. Like that name means a lot to you, and you're sharing with her. And people just carry what they heard. They just carry it to their head, and then they build a relationship upon it. You are at work, right? You are at work. You are attached to a lot of things you have no business being attached with or being attached to. You are living in a house with co-tenants, but you are always in the other house talking with the other woman about your husband. Before you know it, that will become a problem for that relationship that you enjoy with your husband. You are a driver, but you are always talking with other drivers about the problem in your house. Even when your car is filled, it's expected you should start moving. Give somebody we are discussing. Let them enter another car we are discussing. Joyce, have you met somebody that is in problem, is in dire need? He just wants everybody, including irrelevant people in their lives, to hear them out.
Of course. There are.
Once you are in pain or something is wrong, you just want everyone to know what is happening to you. There will be no solution from that. All you are gathering from people is sympathy. Oh no. You mean this happened to you? I'm the kind of person that doesn't like saying things about my relationship. But you see, since I've started telling you, let me just come. There was a day. So Joyce, when you are talking about being detached, right? Even some buildings, some landlords built some house, they are detached. They know the capabilities of tenants, so they detach their houses. They don't want blood, sweat, and tears or fire to come and engulf the house one day, and you tell him that he was mistakenly. No. Be in your corner, I be in mine. It doesn't stop us from saying hello, hi. Oh, your daughter's birthday. How is she? Happy birthday to her. That is it. I don't know why people find it easy to fall into friendships.
In fact, I think that when you talk about detachment, a lot of people just think it's like cutting off building walls. But no, it's not. Detachment is not about building walls.
No,
it is not about.
You need the communication.
Yeah.
You need a lot of things, but you need to know that this information is extremely private. Solo does not have any business hearing it. He does not. Okay, why would married men come and tell you my wife is terrible, she did this, she did that, but they will never tell you the sex style she's offering? Why? No, I'm asking you.
How will I know?
Okay. Is there anything you ever know? Anything I ask you, how will I know?
I don't know.
You see, when things are sweet, when they do sweet things to people, they remember, they just smile. But when your wife disrespects you once, more than half of the office have heard. And eventually, everybody in the office has heard. Everybody in the area has heard. So the same way they would disrespect your wife is the same way they would disrespect you for telling. I was talking with someone, and they did some type of a vote, like an election. And he did the opposition. He was on the opposition side. And the person who, they didn't win, right? But the person who won called him. And he said, in this government, you will never amount to anything. Because you did not support me. You did not support me. He was just quiet. You did not support me. So I am detaching you from this government, this administration, has nothing to do with you as long as I am in this office. And he said, sir, I'm grateful. Thank you. But can I say something? He said, yes. He said, sir, the person that won this election, did he win it with just one vote, which was mine? He said, no. He said, with how many? He said, multiple. He said, so how do you know the rest of the numbers who are they that voted? It was a secret ballot system. How would you know? How are you sure that the people that you are giving these appointments, the people that you are working with, how are you sure that they voted you? He said, sir, I am comfortable where I am. I don't need appointment, but I'm just trying to let you know that more than half of the people that you are with, they also voted that same person. Because we meet, we talk, we know what we did. It was just so unfortunate that I was at the forefront of these things, taking the forms back, doing everything on his behalf, and it was public. It's the same system, and it's the same us, and all of us are politicians. So no problem, sir. Go ahead. But you will call me if you are humble to tell me that I told you the truth. Finally, they started tapping phones. And then they found out that there are conversations about these people that are in power with the other opposition, the person who lost, but has more relevant, now. There are text messages that are flying. There are people that were saying, congratulations to you. So unfortunate you didn't turn out to be the person we envisaged. There are this, there are that. And now he knows, but he can't go back to that man and say, what you said was true. But the person said, Tony, I am earning. I'm feeding my family. I'm living well. My only complaint is distance from my house to my office, from one local government to the other. But he said, I don't care. I go to work twice every week. And I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I have businesses. I'm doing well. I am not even, people don't wake up and come to my house in the morning. I've been detached from that. People don't give me invitation cards for church programs, mosque programs, community. They know that I am just a civil servant. He says, so you should be careful who you say is your own. And you open your mouth, wow, and start talking to the other person. And the person that is not your own, you are holding things from. So we must learn. When we say detach, we must go to the nitty-gritty of what it means, and find out truly, just like you said, detach is not, I'm not talking to Solo again. No, I don't want anything to do with it. No. I can be with him. We can even go out for lunch. But I am detached from Solo when it comes to discussing anything that is outside the regular things people discuss. How are your kids? How's our work is going on well and all of that? Why do you like Eba a lot? Anytime we go out is Eba. It's regular conversation anybody can have.
Okay, but this is the question now. If detachment is about your ability to let go of attachment, whether to relationship, whether to situations or outcomes, if it has to do with your ability now to let go, because maybe the situation's detrimental to your well-being, your peace, or even your growth. Because in most cases, this is the point where people tell you detach. You're in a relationship that you're crying every day. They tell you, leave this guy now. You work in a place where you are stagnated, you're not growing, things are not working. People tell you, you've been here for how many years? 30 years, 20 years, nothing about your life. Can't you leave? Some people will tell you, oh, you have been friends with this person, you have been friends with that person, and then your life has not improved. Can't you leave this friendship? You have since the time you start working with this person, you start engaging in attitudes and actions that are not aligning with your values. Can you not leave this relationship? So Prudence, at what point do you think one has to make that decision to detach?
For you to even make the decision to detach, it is that you have clear cut out principles, values, and what guides you, your day-to-day life. You have priorities, you've set your priorities and you know them and you keep them right. And so at what point do you get to detach yourself from certain things is because you know that at this point this thing is going way ahead of my, or is infringing into my priorities. This is not what I have in front of me. And so you know that it is high time I let go of certain things. For instance, if your marriage is your priority, you would not listen to hearsays from one person or another just because you want to feel among. No, you would put priorities on your marriage, and you would focus on detaching yourself from anything that would cause harm for you too. So it just all boils down to the facts that you know the person that you are, you understand the situation that you're in, and you know what you're looking for. But you see, a lot of us are, like Engineer Tony mentioned, a lot of us are out there looking for sympathy. And a lot of us are out there looking for people to accept us. And because you are so eager for people to accept you, you cannot see when it is time to detach from certain relationships. Even family, like people that there's no how you can say you're cutting them off completely. Someone like your mother, you cannot cut her off. But there are times that you need to detach some things. It's not everything about you that you would go ahead to tell her, right? Same thing applies to your father. Same thing applies to your siblings. But for some people,
your father is looking for you to do rituals with you. You will not detach.
You will detach.
Cover me and back over.
So there are things that you need to consider in your relationship, and you need to pay close attention to be able to get to those points. There are points that you cannot risk staying attached. For instance, because some people do force that relationship, your sister or your brother, and then your sister keeps telling you, you're not telling me anything, tell me something, what is so juicy about you? And you know that if you tell her, tomorrow the whole world would have heard of it.
The whole family will go for BT.
And so sometimes it's just better for your own safety, for your own state of mind, to not engage certain people. So you have to, I'm still going back to the points that you have to understand yourself, understand your priorities, understand your purpose of being where you are at. If not, you would find yourself continuously attached to people that you're not supposed to be attached to situations that you're not supposed to be attached to. And I'm specific about situations as well, because for some people it is mistakes of the past that they cannot detach from, and so it keeps them grounded, and they cannot move forward anymore because they're still holding on to mistakes of the past. They're still holding on to wrong decisions that they have made, and they know right now that it is wrong, but they're thinking, how can I let go of this? How can I move from this position? It will cause a lot of harm for my family members, but it could also be a good thing for them if you detach yourself. So look at the positive side, and
once it conflicts with your values, your principles,
let
your
it go.
purpose in life, you have to let it go.
Yes.
Okay, Sambo Sullivan, is it possible for detachment to coexist when you have deep love and care for others? I mean, you hear people say, but I love him, but I love her. You just mentioned family members too. She's my mother, even though she's giving you wrong advice. Oh, he's my father, even though he's into rituals or kidnapping or this and that. Like that bond.
He's into rituals. The person that does rituals is a ritualist. He can't be into who he is.
He's a ritualist. Unfortunately, some children discover that their parents are actually ritualists, and then they can't. Okay, how can detachment?
He's into ritualists.
How can detachment?
It's good you don't know. It's not a good thing to know that bad thing. It's good you don't know it.
So how can detachment coexist? You are letting go. That's detachment. So how can it coexist when you have deep love and care for the others?
You see, she talks about purpose. You have to understand, yes, this is family, and every family has their own values, right? And belief. And then you find out in family we stand out, right? That's why you find people choose what they want to become. in some family. Some family, yes, you can be forced, but you can see some that are being forced to study a particular subject because this is what the parents are thinking. But at the end of the day, we see how some of these children said, I have done your bidding and I'm detaching myself from your bidding. Now I'm pursuing my purpose. You have to understand your purpose, where you are going. Then when you understand your purpose and then you see anything that is coming and is conflicting, is affecting your purpose negatively, you just have to detach yourself from that. It's a must. It's not something that you have to think twice. No matter how deeply or whatever ocean of love you are swimming in.
Okay, a lady shared her story. She stays.
How far am I gonna ocean of love? Yeah, you are distracted. You want to hear the rest of it. We are looking for punchlines.
This lady stays with her boyfriend. They are not married, and she stays with him. He beats her every day. And she was complaining, I stay with my boyfriend, he feeds me, he does everything for me, but he beats me every day. At any slightest provocation, he beats me. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go to.
Do they have sex?
I don't know.
But why would she say the beating and not talk about the sex part?
So that was what she said, that he beats her every day. She's tired of that, but she does not know where to go if she's to leave. Now, how would you advise, like, what do you think this person, I want to leave because every day this person beats me a little provocation, but I don't have where to go. Or you hear the ones that will tell you, but I love him. He's beating you, but I love him. Or you hear the one, there was one that called me and she was crying and she said, Joyce, at this age, where will I find another boyfriend? After building with him for how many years, he now, like he's saying that he's not doing again. So that her problem, when I was telling her, no, don't worry, like the one that will stay and all of that, you get your...
You and her, who is older?
She's way older than me. And she now said, at this age, where will I get... Like, that was her concern. How would she how would she start, and if they start, when would they even grow to even getting married? So this was her. Even when the relationship is toxic.
I'm coming. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, right?
Go and come. Where I'm coming, go and come.
Let me go
I'm
and
really
come.
just trying to wrap my head around what you just said. So I see a lot of holes in her statement, right? First of all, she's tired. She's complaining. So definitely there's no satisfaction in that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And then she's telling you something like, if she leaves, where would she get another one?
No, she just talked about two different.
Yeah,
Yes, two different people. I'm just
the second point.
It's the second one that is really. I would still go back to the first one, but the second one, first of all, haven't she heard of people that met in 3 months and they are getting married? It doesn't take that much time. It just takes energy to channel, to understand
Connection.
each other, to connect.
Understand.
It's not as much about who you are with. So sometimes we hold on to something that keeps hurting us because we dwell on what ifs. And when we dwell on what ifs, we're not looking at what ifs in the right direction. Because they are what if when I leave, I'll find someone more great? What if when I leave, I would blossom more? What if when I leave, I would flourish more? We don't look at that what if. We always look at the what if.
In the negative.
I don't get another one. People will laugh at me. I know some people are in relationship. It's not because they like the person or they are really in tune with, but it's better than not having. If I don't have, they will say something is wrong with me.
Exactly. And that is very true. Recently, we were having a conversation. Young people in my house, we quite a lot. So we're just having a conversation, and some of us were talking about sexual intercourse as guys, and we're talking about the pressure that guys have to engage in sex before marriage, because we were jokingly asking them, are they still virgins? And it was something.
Why would
that
you ask?
We were
That's discriminating. You are intruding into people's personal.
but this was just
Like every
family
guy does.
joking about
It's
it.
like saying, "Are you still a thief?"
We're just asking.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Kidding. But
She didn't get that.
yeah.
I got it. I don't want to. I
don't
got
want
it.
to-
I do not
she don't
want
want
to.
to go to that,
But
yeah.
honestly, you there are certain things you ask, you are infringing on.
We
on
know we were
people's
just joking.
privacy.
Would your mother ask
We
you
were
that
not
question?
waiting for that answer.
Would your mother ask you that question?
Maybe not. My
Has
mom
she ever
has
asked
been-
you?
So far, no. She's just always asking, "Who is the guy in your life?"
But she
The
had
answer
never
is
asked you
almost
if
always no.
she had never asked you if
No.
your dad.
No. Oh yeah. One time, twice. Yeah.
Your
once,
friends.
twice. Friends?
Mm.
Not really. Not directly.
You
Not-
see, in your whole entire life, maybe you have been asked this question once or twice.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but you see, that means you probably have never been asked.
Yes.
But you're asking people.
We were joking around. We were just throwing out jokes.
Mm.
But that was not even the direction of the discussion. We were talking about the pressure that guys have to engage in sex.
Mm.
And
But you're asking guys.
yeah, my cousins.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Are men pressured to have sex?
actually, that's where
Okay,
we're heading.
okay.
them up.
So we were having
got to
this
that point,
conversation.
yeah,
So we were having this conversation, and then one of us said something like, "This kind of conversation happened between another family, because she's a family friend and we were together. It's like in her own family, something like this happened, and they were all discussing, and one of them actually passively mentioned that he's not done it before." And everyone was like, "Are you even a man?" And the pressure was just, everybody was just asking and looking at him like, "Why would you even why would you even say something like this so proudly?" And it was intimidating. And she said if she was in his shoes at that point, she would just look for the next girl available and just do it. So he can just say, "I did." Because of how much they were at his throat because of what he said. And sometimes we find ourselves in situations like this, and we just want to feel that we are part of the crowd that have said same thing as relationships. You're entering a relationship because you know that your guys will say, "Guy, now how far? What's up with you? Why are you not having any? Why are you always saying you don't have?" And things like that. Because that is the kind of conversations we tend to have, we find ourselves jumping into relationships one after the other
No, we are not ready.
that we are not ready for. I was actually directing it towards some of them that were saying that they don't even know what it actually means to be single. That how are we coping that we are still single? I'm like, there's peace of mind and there's no pressure. But they cannot even see it in that direction. The moment they're breaking up from this relationship, they want to immediately jump into another one because they do not understand how to be detached from a relationship. And
Sorry,
so you
Prudence.
walk into a
I
lot
read
of
something.
trouble.
Sorry, they said when a guy is asking you, try and confirm whether the guy is still single or where he's suffering from trauma of breakup.
Same thing. And even the ladies, you have to check that out. But we are not doing that. So we jump into relationships like that. And that's why I'm heading towards the lady who just unburdened herself to you. It's interesting that she could not even find someone who could mentor her out of that relationship, because at that position, she's no longer thinking straight. She cannot even see the right path to go. So she actually does need help. But the thing is that we need to go into relationships with our eyes wide open and know and keep your mind out for red flags so that you walk out of it. And I'm not just talking about sexual relationships, even friendships. Watch out for red flags, because there are a lot of friendships that have red flags, and some of us are still engaged. But she's my friend.
We grew up together.
The one
We walk together.
the one I heard a lot of over the break was, is my G. You can't say no to your G. No, you cannot do that to your G. And I'm like, even when you know that what your G is doing would probably drag you into it as well and cause you harm, and you still keep that guy and you say, he's my guy, I cannot let go because it's my guy, we cannot do this to our guy. There are some times that you need to detach yourself. You need to tell yourself that this my G is...
It's
We
not
need to
G.
get-
No, it's not G.
But some people say,
Exactly, it's not
but
G.
some people say I have the capacity to handle that.
Yeah.
Don't
He's a
lie
thief.
to
I'm not a
yourself.
thief. So if he lie, he should go and steal.
You know,
Don't lie to
Solo,
yourself. That's
people-
a lie.
people who assume their capacity. People who assume their capacity are people who cry the most when
Truly.
things happen to them
Truly.
eventually.
Mm.
You shouldn't get to. You see, I am always a reader of happenings. I am always a researcher of these things. And sometimes you already know these things. The principles have been laid down. When you do this thing, this is how it ends. You don't need to research again. It is the same old result that is waiting for you till the world falls. But how come people are blinded to the reality of pain?
Yeah.
How come people are blinded to the reality of rejection, isolation, and all of that? It's because when your mind is made up to do evil, you don't think of anything else.
Yes.
If you can just take a minute to think, is it worth it dating Tony Nakali? Is it worth it?
You walk out.
No, he's tall,
If-
he's
if-
handsome.
If you can just go back to think for a second if it is worth it, so you will save yourself. Okay, not you. You will save yourself a lot.
Whoever.
You save yourself.
You will save a lot, for yourself. Because there's no way I can go out.
I understand.
Of people that can possibly,
Yes.
Use Jumai.
let me not tell people what you have been texting me.
Eh,
But in real sense, Solo, we are talking about detaching yourself. Sir, from what?
Evil.
Wait, so that's a very good answer. But how do you know what is evil? When you
Another
don't know
thing
what
there.
is evil, how can you detach yourself? Why do people fall victims of one chance? They didn't know that the car is filled with evil people. That's why they entered.
Just like that girl that they
But you entered the car. They robbed you. The next day, same number plate, same driver, same color, same everything. The car stops.
And you
And
don't
it
know
tells you,
this.
honestly, after we robbed yesterday, we went for a crusade. And we all repented. And it's the same gang members in the car. And you entered again and they robbed you. And you came back with that story. Nobody will even believe as a matter of fact that you are robbed.
Yes.
very true.
Everybody will think you are cooking up stories. And when people keep telling you they have been heartbroken, they have been fired, they have been fighting with neighbors, because we are talking about life.
Life.
Yes.
Life has to do
Yes.
with work,
Mm.
living with people, socializing and all of that. And this is where the problem comes from. You live in an area, everybody knows your salary. You live in an area, everybody knows how you spend the salary.
Yes.
You live in an area, people know that your wife is doing this. The people know that your husband is like that. You live in an area, everybody knows the character of your children. Not by them studying, but by either you or your wife telling them. What is their business knowing? Why are you not living outside?
Honestly.
That's the truth. Live in the rain. Because if the rain deals with you, if the rain gets you wet, you will as well tell them.
Yes.
So why would not just live in the rain so that from their windows they will see the rain beating you and how you are shivering? Why would they? There are certain things that are personal, and I think they should be kept that way. But when you want to let the whole world know what you are going through, that is a character that you should also detach yourself from. The character of not keeping your own secret to yourself. Prudence made a lot of valid points. You made a lot of valid points. Joyce made a lot of valid points. But believe me, this one that we are saying, people are saying, these idiots, what are they saying?
I was actually.
Wasn't that you are about? Look, even if you beat me, sure, I'm getting what I want. I'll go and get myself treated. And Joyce, let me tell you something. One thing that I found out recent times. We have been discussing relationship for people that have sense. We have to start discussing what people do for people that don't have sense. Nobody is in a relationship now to have sex. Nobody is in a relationship now to get money. Nobody. People have transcended. People have sex without relationship. People make demands without knowing people. There are girls that can move to a place where a guy is staying with his friends and all of them are sleeping with her and the guy is not even in love with her.
Yes.
How will you say that one does not need to detach herself even from the area?
She needs to more than
Look at we are discussing all these things we are discussing. Let me tell you, Nache ba church ko. Let me tell you, honestly, these are decent relationships.
Yes.
Compared to Joyce, if you can have a relationship and have multiple sex and break up, and maybe you even had an abortion, and you broke up, it's a decent relationship, sir. Compared to a girl who leaves her house in the morning in the name of I am going to school, and she goes to a room where a guy is living with his friends, and they are smoking weed, taking drugs, and everybody is sleeping with the girl. Yes, sir. Because there's nothing was defined. At least it's better that it was defined, but it didn't work. They are all bad, but at different degrees. Yes, they are all bad at different degrees. Because this one, you didn't know this thing was coming. But this one, you took yourself. You took yourself. And when his friend visits, you are like, this guy is handsome. I want to. Oh, well, he's there. Let's give them. Sometimes they don't even give them while they are there. People post videos like that. I heard there is a social media app. The same way WhatsApp is. The same way this one is. It's called Telegram. People go there the most because you can send everything. I think it's not censored. It's not. I say me, I will never download Telegram. I will not be on it. They say you can send large files without it blocking, without it breaking pixels. I will not download it because most of the things that people have on their phone that is terrible, that is sexual in nature, they get it from. They use Telegram to share it. I think it doesn't have restrictions and all of that. I think so. They use it to share it. Me personally, I'm not advertising against Telegram or anything. No. But personally, I won't have it. Maybe if I will have it, I will encourage Moses Ija, Victor, and all my editors to have it in case they want to send any big files to anybody from the office. But me, it's not my responsibility to be sending files up and down. Since they are sending files, let them download it and share it with people. But Joyce, I don't want to have a reason. You know why? We live in a world where by default you are tempted left, right, center, front, up, down. Why would you want to download things that will add to the problems you have already?
Honestly, true.
Have you been to Terminus recently? Just go to Terminus and sit down and see how girls are dressed. And tomorrow you blame a man. I'm not giving excuses, but you blame a man for following the girl, not even rape, following her, talking to her and doing what he wants to do and leaves her alone. I went to buy screen guard, shutterproof for my phone. And a girl walked in. She was chewing gum with long nails and eyelashes. And she came to trade her phone for something. And the guy said, this phone is new. She said, yeah, somebody gave her money yesterday that he doesn't want this phone. In my mind, I just said somebody's husband. In my mind, though, I didn't voice it out. The girl looked like she can bring out a gun from her purse and open fire. Honestly, what came out of my mind? Somebody's husband. She was using 14 Pro Max. And she came for the latest iPhone. That phone could be sold as new. But if you saw what she was wearing, Solo, no matter how you like women, you wouldn't want that one added to your list. I'm telling you. I like my women private, sir. When my woman shows that she can be any other person's man, I start having questions. You are my own. We are together. Be private. I don't want men around you. So don't do what will attract
Attract
what
other.
I don't want.
Attachment, honestly.
This girl was half naked, sir. Like she was half naked. You could picture everything.
I actually saw one in church. You saw yours
Hey?
on the street. I saw one in church. So
They say,
it's not. It's
but it's
disheartening.
not Equa Church, sir.
You went for
What the
visitation.
Lord has done for me.
Our time is actually fast.
No, it's not true. Oh,
Fast
Jesus.
spent. But I would like us to just, because there are a lot of people out there that are really struggling with the decision, like to detach. They know that what they are into is not healthy. They know that the relationship, the situation has impacted them negatively. Some people are depressed right now. Some are having mental issues. Some are struggling with their peace. They can be at work and they are in tears. They can just be in the market carried away because of negative attachments, because of attachments that they refuse to let go. And for some of them, they know, but how to is a problem. Personally, I've had the cause to let go of relationships, like of situations that were detrimental to me. I remember there was a time I told my mom, see, if people will continue this thing, I'll leave your house. So she said, why would you leave house? Because of somebody? If I'm the one who will not leave, I say, I know what you're trying to pass. I should not think of leaving your house. But I don't like anything that will seize my peace. I don't like anything that will make me to be carried away thinking, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect my productivity. It's going to affect my growth. Things that I'm supposed to be thinking about, I will not be thinking about, because I'm thinking of the pain that came with the relationship or the situation that I did not detach myself. Some of the relationship or some of the situation I detached myself wasn't like, okay, there was a wall. Wasn't like a situation where, oh, I don't care about this person or I don't know. But I created boundaries. Like, in as much as I relate with this person, this is the much I can go.
Yeah.
With. There are persons that I've seen from distance, like, you're fighting with this person, you're fighting with this. No, I can't entangle myself around you. Why? Because I don't want to have the same narrative. And so I decided to create boundaries. And as much as I relate with this person, no, this is the start and this is how it's going to finish. Why? Because I don't want anything that will impact on my well-being. So, but sometimes you find people just jumping into friendship. Like, you find yourself in a place and then, whoop, you are becoming friends. You're telling the person everything about you. And then tomorrow you're saying, this person that I trusted, I see this too. And I'm hearing it everywhere. Sometimes you need to, I think one of the things that people need to do is to be mindful, to be intentional about association. I mean, earlier on I said, why would you be around somebody for years and you are stagnated, and or you indulge in attitudes or actions that are not helpful to you, and you go up with that relationship? There are times that you need to match actions and words of people and weigh them and see, oh, is this person really telling me the truth or not? Do I need to step back and then withdraw from this relationship or not? So I think people can practice mindfulness. People can be deliberate about purpose, like Prudence said earlier on. Like, what is my purpose? What is my values? What are my values? What do I stand for? If my relationship with this person will conflict with my values, then I shouldn't even go into that relationship in the first place. You can't say, oh, I believe in Jesus, and the person saying, I know I don't believe in Jesus, and you're saying, hey, let's just date. And one thing about attachment to things that are not healthy for you is the fact that it blocks way for you to see other opportunities.
True.
You entangle yourself in the wrong relationship and you keep saying that this relationship is not working. Sometimes maybe all you need to do is just to detach yourself and the right person will come to you. I had a relation one time that was dating a Christian girl that was dating a Muslim guy. Like, everybody in the family knows that nobody is going to even accept this marriage. And then from his own side, there might be conditions as well. But she felt that, I love this person, and they were like entangled. They refused to let anything that anybody is saying to let them apart. But eventually, they saw that it was not going to work, obviously, and they detached from each other. It was painful for her, according to her. But just after some time, she met somebody that loved her. I mean, he showed her what love is. They are currently married. Just few months after the relationship, they got married. His family came from Abuja, and then that's how they came, paid her dowry, everything. They are married right now. So sometimes you stay in an unhealthy relationship because of fear, insecurity, or because of your control. There are people that stick with other people so they can control them. So because you feel that, no, if I let this person go, I will not be able to have control. If I let this person go, what if? Negative what ifs and all of that. So I think practicing mindfulness, being intentional about relationship, knowing your values, and even knowing that life itself is dynamic, so that I am in relationship with you because our values align. I should know that you can change, and when you change, I should detach myself. So I think these are some of the ways that people can detach from things that impact on their well-being, their peace, and even their growth.
If I know I've spoken too much, but I just need to say this: if you have a part of you that is telling you that it's time to get out, right? And there is a part of you that is insisting you should stay. Ask yourself, why did that little part said it's time to get out, and it didn't say anything again? But this one is insisting that you stay. The Bible says that there is a way that seemeth right unto man. He said, but the end thereof is destruction. That's number one. The same Bible says that narrow is the way that leads to eternal life, but broad is the other way that leads to destruction. Now, if that voice said, Solo, it's time to let Prudence go, and didn't explain anything, it's because the road is narrow. That's why it wouldn't say a lot. But the road that is broad, has a lot to say, and everybody it's like a speed lane. A 6-lane highway. You can maneuver and take your turns and zoom off. Anytime you have a notion that you should quit, there was a reason why that voice was spoken to you. Just like that, nobody will tell you to quit. There is a reason. A voice can talk to you, Joyce, it's time to leave your parents' house and get a man. Or you have a man, or marry that man. It's time for you to leave your house and marry Hassan and Juma. And Hassan and Juma is the only person you have relationship with, and you love him. You know, you will consider, because there is already a relationship, and you have gone far, and he has asked you to marry you, and you have accepted, but you are at home. Now, it is different from a voice that tells you you are working in Equa Television, you are doing well, we are proud of you, we love you, and you have a lot of fans in Equa, and people look up to you. A lot of people call you, how do I do this, and how do I, and you are just a godly girl, and we love you. But the voice comes to you and says, Joyce, it's time to leave your parents' house and start prostitution. You have never nursed it. You have never liked it. You detest it and all of that. Which voice do you think will be true? The first one, because there are elements that allow you to bond that pre-existing eventuality and that voice that is coming to you now. But I should go and be a harlot. Where do I stand? How do they stand? Do they register with people? I don't have any information. But assuming you followed Prudence somewhere, and she introduced you to 3, 4, 5, 6 men, and that voice is coming, you'll be like, this is a viable venture. Let me try it. But just from the blues. So you see, when people start telling you that this thing that you are doing with Solo has a wife, you say, no, it's not true. It's not true. I've been to his house. Well, he rented it and took you there. They say behind every gossip, there is element of truth. So I can't remember how they say it exactly. When you start hearing it's time to go, start checking the time. Yes, because time is mentioned. It's time to go, check. And it's not a physical clock. Check the antecedents of that relationship from beginning to where you are standing right now. Why are you struggling to make it work? It was meant to work. Why are you struggling to make it work? Why are you struggling to keep that job? Why are you struggling to keep the relationship? Why are you struggling to live in that compound? As a matter of fact, it is more expensive than final houses. So why are you struggling to live there? Why can't people just explain what freedom means to them and live it? With these few words of mine.
The professor now, Samus Luma is our professor here.
I don't understand.
And scholar. You want to detach, but challenges are there. There are people that will call you names. There are people that will tell you, because I remember a story of one of the youth members in my church. There was an altar call, and then he went and gave his life to Christ. And when he came back, then his friends were like, they saw him coming and they, you did not hear what happened. Youth are going to church and crying. When Sunje church na kuka, when sun tuba, some people went to church and they were crying that they repented and they laughed at him. So they kept mocking him. That was he went back to the lifestyle. They were smoking like that. So,
Joyce, the reason is that one. The reason is because when people come out and repent, we leave them repented. We don't follow up. You just gave birth to a child. You went to terminus for your market and the child is at home. The baby will die. Even puppies, when they are born, there is a way. Anyway, not the kind you have at home. The one I have at home, there is a way the vet doctor will come and I know your parents are watching. I'm just joking.
My mom is watching.
You know her. You know me. I'm just joking. But true, when you plant a seed, you must nurture it. That guy gave his life to Christ, and you left him to go back to that. He should have been guided. He should have been discipled. He should have been kept close to someone that will speak against that thing that they said. But he didn't have the information. A lot of people are like that.
True. So what do you do amidst that challenge?
Yeah. You see, Joyce, it's not easy to be honest, because some people, you just have to feel that negative impact, whether psychologically or physically. That's the only time you will know that it's time for you to go. That's just the truth. Because I like what Prudence said. The positivity towards your if. It's very important. And like he said, you have to check your antecedent, the relationship, 2 years. What are you doing? Why are you struggling? You understand? And then some, you pour your heart. You're being genuine to whatever you are doing, whether work, whether friendship, whether man-to-man, normal friendship, or girlfriend friendship. You understand? Because there's something you are expecting the two of you will enjoy, will grow in it positively, right? And then the thing is not coming. And then somebody is struggling to keep that thing that all of you are thinking supposed to work, and it's not working. It's not easy because you pour your heart. That's why the Bible says you should flee, because it's impacting on you negatively. Because the idea of God for us to live is to live well. In whatever circumstances, at least you are finding fulfillment, even if things are being not the way you want. So it is very important to know that you can detach yourself and you can still live well.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And just like he said, someone once told me that one of the reasons why he gave his life to Christ was because he came back one day with his friends and they were drunk and they started fighting. They beat themselves up and then stood up staggeringly and entered their house. Neighbors. And he woke up the next morning and he's like, is this the life he wants to continue living? And so he had to literally detach himself from that friend, from those friends. Like, it was a massive detachment. And he had to also look for a mentor to keep him straight, like stayed focused. So that's another thing, that as much as we want to detach from something, we need to open our minds to receiving help to get out of certain attachments.
True.
Because for certain attachments, you really need to be psychoanalyzed and redirected, because sometimes the attachment is just too much. For instance, the illustrations you gave, those are close knitted attachments that is not easy for these ladies to leave. But they need guidance, as I said earlier. They need support. So as much as you're leaving this kind of thing, you need to also look for support where you know that, because you cannot leave something if you're not directed towards it. He mentioned that there are nudgings from the heart that tells you it is time to go, it is time to leave, it is time to stop. And so when you feel those nudgings, these nudgings could also lead you to the right people that you need to help you get out of it.
Well
Listen
said.
to those voices.
Well said. Thank you, Engineer Tony. Thank you, Prudence. Thank you, Sambo Solomon.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Joyce.
The power to detach is indeed important, that everyone should actually embrace and have. It is actually that ability that will help you, will guide you to let go of attachments, whether mentally, physically, or emotionally, that contradict or inflict on your well-being, your growth, and even your peace. Detachment is the power to embrace your identity and let go of the need for validation. We'll come your way tomorrow, same time, to talk about relationship. Don't miss out. Thank you for sticking to Equa Television. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.